It's the last match in the box. Right, so hi. Welcome to my flip through of my art diary. I'm going to do this in a softly spoken voice, but not a full whisper, and see how I like the sound of my voice that way. I can already hear myself getting higher and higher pitched. Okay, I have a cooler to help me through. After a long day, I have my candle going and my microphone cord getting in everyone's way. And so, without further ado, let's have a flip through of my most recent art diary. So my initial idea with this book was that I would do full artworks in it, and I would use the heavy card paper to finish paintings and experimental art and stuff on it. And also my idea is to, every time I draw a picture inside the book, I would then do a miniature version of the same thing on the front cover. So you can see here are a few little previews of what's inside. It's got this nifty elastic which helps keep everything together, and it would be really helpful if I were to stick things in, but I didn't do that. It also has this really cool envelope here. Which I have put nothing in, but I really enjoy that it has one, and that's a feature. And maybe in the next one I'll be able to do it better. I think there's a better way of doing this, but I haven't actually opened that envelope since I started the book, which was in October 2018, and I finished it in August 2019. So that's fairly recent. That was September now, so that counts. Alright, so in October I drew this crow on the front cover, and I was excited about this pen that I had, which I barely use now, but anyway. And then just recently in August I drew this crow. So my idea was that you'd be able to see the improvement of the artist, but I'm not convinced I've improved that much. There's more tonal variations maybe, but that's I actually like the feathers in this crow better. Posture maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway. So on this page I drew some wattle from life, and I've written a quote by Samuel Johnson. So when I first started, this is what my handwriting was like, and then it was like this. So the quote that I've written on the wattle is, "What we hope to do with ease, we must first learn to do with diligence," which I think is a very, very good quote. Practice makes perfect. So if you want to be good at something or do something easily, you really got to put in the hours and practice. So the next one is the waratah. So the flowers here that I've drawn are the waratah and the wattle are both Australian flowers, and they're both in watercolour and they're both on the front cover as well. So I thought that was a cute touch. And the idea behind this page is it just blooms. It just blooms. And that's about that quote. that flowers don't compare themselves to other people, they just bloom, and they do their best, and artists should do the same thing. So then I did this design, which is kind of cool. It's a ladybug that I designed for somebody who was getting a tattoo done, and she had them done in different colours, and they represented different people, which I thought was really nice. So you can find it on the cover here. And then I decided I would do a challenge called Med's 100 Heads. So a guy called Ahmed, who is on Instagram and YouTube and a very influential artist for me, he put out a challenge. I think it was on all of his platforms. I saw it on social media. I saw it on Instagram. And it's Med's 100 Heads. So the challenge is to do 100 heads in 10 days, which could be 10 heads a day, but I didn't quite get around to doing 10 heads a day. So the next few pages are going to just be heads of Pinterest board reference that everyone who's doing the challenge was drawing the same heads, which was pretty cool. So you could see the different art styles and varying degrees of skill that people who were doing the challenge had. And Ahmed did it as well, and the amount of people who did it was monumental. And I know in the last few pages I literally just said don't compare yourself to other artists, but this was a really fun exercise to do just that. Yeah. It was really interesting drawing from references that I didn't choose, because I got all of these characters and photographs that I would never have chosen to draw myself. So some of these were clay sculptures that other people had made, and it's just really, really expressive and hard to draw characters that I would never have sketched of my own accord. So yeah, I found that really helpful to just build up a quantity of work. These are unfinished drawings and the opposite of what I wanted to use this book for, but I found it really helpful to my practice to keep doing this. This one is one of my favourites. It's head number 24, and I just really, there's something stocky about it. I think he's a dwarf or something, but he's really hardcore and has oomph and character, even though there's no eyeball. And when I was drawing it I was like, oh, this is not doing so well, it's going to look characterless, but it's actually the opposite of that, so I really enjoy that one. This guy looks like Jesus. This is the Frankenstein's monster. Has anyone seen that show with Simon and the zombies? Kieran and Simon. No, it doesn't matter. I was going to say Dead Like Me, but that's a different show. Doesn't matter. So I just did so many heads, and this was all in January before I hurt my back. Well, before I hurt my back really bad, so I still was doing some things. Sometimes the no eyeballs makes it extra creepy. Oops, missed a page. Gandalf style character, an orc. And I got really tired and forced myself to continue doing the drawings anyway, and sometimes that paid off and sometimes it didn't. Really didn't. But it wasn't about drawing good art, it was about drawing a quantity of art and getting really into expression and I guess the repetitive nature of art when you want to improve. If anyone has any questions about any of this, please feel free to ask me questions below. It's a bit of a repetitive video. But we're over halfway, so that's good. Some of them were fun and expressive to draw, and others were tricky, and you can tell that I wasn't enjoying myself when I was drawing them quite so much. And the harder the expression or the angle was, the more fun I ended up having with the images. I would get tired, but I would persevere, and some of them I really like. I was going to come back and try and finish some, like colour them in and do the line work in pen and stuff, but I decided to leave it as it was more true to the form of when I actually drew it. Oh look, I'm getting graphite on my fingers from touching the pages. So this artwork here is a sketch that I did on the 23rd of the 1st, 2019, and this one I did on the 18th of the 8th, 19, but that's from the same reference, which is interesting because of how different the artworks are. And we're still going with the faces. There's lots of expressions. And the long, elongated faces I tend to do. Like, this is terrifying. It's just, there's nothing good about that. I like the white pencil and the orange kind of bringing out the face more. And this is the other drawing from the front cover. And that's all we have on the cover at the moment. The same reference art that I did many, many months later. This one's cute. It looks like a pea in a bud. Creepy as hell. Looks like a floating decapitated head because I coloured her in white. She was pale. It's not great. Like I said, some of them not so good. The perspective on this was really interesting because it's top down while he's looking up, so his shoulders are here and then his feet are here. But it didn't translate very well into my sketch. This one, so I don't know what was going on there, but 98, 99, 100 and we're done. So that was a completed challenge of 100 heads in 10 days. So that's Med's 100 heads. And then I was like, no more human heads, time to draw lions. But I only did 2 and then realised they were really hard and gave up. And then here we have a very cute narwhal drawing. So I did a much bigger version of this for my friend Jessie Kate and her new baby named Claire. And this was concept art, and then that was, I refashioned it to make it cuter and cuter. Yeah, and then we've got some dinosaurs because how cool the sauropods, they were so big, and I like the idea of just drawing that line. Look how happy he is. He's so happy. I really like that dinosaur. And I did come in and colour some in and do some line work in these, which is a bit nice. Would like to have done that with more. This one is really cool. I'm not sure how well you can see it in this light, which is annoying. The sun's gone down outside and now my light's not as nice. But there's a sauropod here and some footprints, and that's inspired by an actual site in outback Queensland in Australia. Very new to the site that I worked on in 2017. So here's a very derpy magpie, and a slightly less derpy one. and then I thought I'd look at some tutorials and get a little bit better at drawing magpies, so that's what I did here. Then I decided more heads were needed, and it was getting close to finishing the page. I forgot that these were in here. That's embarrassing. There's some more heads here. And this one is from a reference of myself, a selfie that I took, but I think it looks a lot like Charlie Is So Cool Like. If you know who that is, you'll recognise him in the photo. I don't look anything like him in real life, I don't think. Oh, I kind of hope you don't see this. But you will. And then here's me again, but with rosy cheeks and looking even less like myself. And then I did me again. I did this terrible dragon that I gave up on, and just another reference art of an elf, well, following from reference photos that weren't me or Pinterest again. And here I did the same thing, and I turned the reference art that I was looking at into a drawing of myself. So I put the glasses on and gave her my haircut and earrings and freckles. It sort of works like a character design, I guess. Then there's someone else and another girl. I actually really like this one. Something about the nose-lip ratio makes me happy. This is terrifying, but this is okay. That one, I don't know. This isn't great. But trying to get the colour in there was good. And then here's me again, where I did the same thing, where I drew a face and then I tried to transfer it into a selfie by putting in the glasses and the freckles and the shading, and it just got gradually worse and worse. And then here I've done a flower on the very last page, which is in watercolours, and it's just, I thought that was a nice little, somewhat little end. It says here that the glasses ruined it, and then the shading, and then learn to stop. So if I'd have finished this sketch where I thought it was looking okay before I changed the jawline and the glasses and stuff, it would have been better. So that's my complete art diary. This was a really fun one to do. I really enjoyed having the card, even if I didn't use it in a different way to other art diaries. I should have done more experimental things like that. And then on the last page, on the back cover, I drew a smiley face. I wrote completed. And then here I was learning to do a mountain range. So it's sort of like logo designs and stuff. I learnt it from a YouTube tutorial and then got excited about it. So yes, that was my first flip through of this. I think I'd like to do it in a more ASMR style, but I'll watch it back, see if it's workable, or I might film another video with more whispers. We'll see how I go. Alright, well thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this way too long flip through an art diary. And I look forward to sharing more work with you in the future. Alright, thanks so much for watching. How do you turn this thing off?